Okay, so I'm going to be going through and explaining exactly how to go about using Darktable as a means to edit and inject copyright information and metadata onto an image in general. It's fairly simple. Actually, it's incredibly simple. There are many alternatives to doing this. The advantage to using something like Darktable is that you gain a sense of familiarity with it when you're already image editing. And aside from that, you can batch edit uh, your metadata without having to understand too much about uh, the metadata in general. It's incredibly simple. So going forward, you're going to go to the install tab. Darktable is a application used for editing images. It's usually used for raw images. You're going to be able to edit shadows, contrast, a bunch of stuff. And you're going to select your operating system after you've selected the install tab. Once you do that, it'll take you to the proper screen. You click on this link right here. It's going to download the installer. Very simple, very easy to do. Once you do that, and your Darktable is installed, go ahead and load it up. I have the screen zoomed in, so give me 1 second. On the top left-hand side, when you boot into Darktable the first time, you're going to notice that there's number one, there's a left-hand side that has a section called Light Table, Dark Table, or Darkroom and Other. That's just showing you other options that you can use, but Darkroom might load up if you're selecting an image to boot up into. Otherwise, if you open the application with no presets or without having loaded an image directly, you're going to be greeted with the Light Table screen. Now, when you want to load images, you can load by image, folder, there's a bunch of options. If you wanted to do a folder, very simple, select folder, it'll load everything. If you want to do individual images, vice versa. I'm going to go ahead and go to image set 1. I have already set aside stuff specifically for this video. I have it set up to go there. I just navigated from desktop to set 1 and open all this stuff in there. Randomly selected pictures. These are JPEGs, not raw images. Editing is not the purpose of this video, so I'm not even going to touch on that. Now, once we've loaded these images in, you're going to notice how they're not selected. They may look so, but they're not. Click the first image, pan over to the right, shift, press the last image, hold shift while doing so. You'll select all of them. You cannot highlight them. That is not an option. I have no idea why. Now, once you've selected those images, on the right-hand side, you will see some options. I have it tabbed open because I've been messing around with things, so I'm going to close them out. Obviously, they're already selected, so I don't really have to mess with this, but you can select all just by clicking that button. Now, metadata editor is right here. You can go ahead and edit any of these. I suggest that if you're having copyright issues, you go ahead and edit all of them. And the way I recommend that you do this is you set up a structured system for tracking. So let's say you have users that have access to certain sets and you want to be able to track those users. So let's say Don Joe is the first user that you want to be able to track. You make a set specifically for him, and then you make a code specifically for him. In this case, it's going to be X99S. You're going to put it there, 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 and there. Reason being, some, not all, some websites will scrub metadata before they host the images. Now, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select the outgoing storage location. I have made a specific folder for this video. This is the original file for image set. I'm going to go ahead and go to a section I titled users and go to Donjo. I'm going to select this as the output destination and I'm going to export. Exporting 4 images is what it says on the bottom. It will not be over until all of those images have been exported. This is going to bulk up your data. If you have a large batch of photos to do, it is just as easy to maintain one folder and merely edit, apply, and then host that information. Now, I'm doing this specifically to display the results. You could just maintain one file, change the metadata, host it, like post it online, change it again, post it again online as a separate file, and then link different people to those different files as a means to track who is publishing copyrighted materials without consent. Very easy to do, a little bit tedious. Now, we're going to go ahead and clear all of that. We're going to change the file location for outgoing, and we're going to go to users again, and we're going to Jack Scissorhands this time. Select this output file, right? I'm going to do the same thing we just did a second ago. I'm going to see what I have listed for this one. Will Smith, we went Jack Scissorhands. Is pen 1S. Apply and export. Again, exporting the image. And last, we're going to do Will Smith. Again, this is just illustration, explaining the decisions and why I do this. Now let's just go ahead and clear. Actually, add to reselect everything. That's the one thing you have to always remember to do. Because if you're not selecting before you do this, it will not work. Users, Will Smith. Now you can use Darktable as a way of checking metadata. However, it is not my go-to method. It does not provide anywhere near enough information. We're going to use instead another application. This application is called EXIF Tool, made by a cool guy for free, available online. His name Phil Harvey, real cool guy. Put a lot of work in. This is usable on Windows, has its UI, graphical user interface, has a good old-fashioned terminal version. Load here, EXIF tool, but the GUI is right there. GUI is incredibly simple to use and straightforward. Setting this up, simple. A lot of people have problems. I'm going to, if you message me, I can send a compressed file with all of it set up how it should be set up, and then you just have to open it up. All we're going to do is navigate down here. I have everything in the leaked videos section, or my bad, the section down here. We're going to navigate. You can't open folders within folders. You have to actually navigate down to the folder itself. So let's say we go down here. It's on X99S for Donjo. Going over here is on pen 15. Pen 15, or my bad, pen 1S. Pen 1S. Some information will be on a different tab. If it got wiped, you can still see the image descriptions. It's really straightforward. 2244. And if I wanted to make sure I had the right user, just check it. It's important to note that how you download a file will dictate on a lot. It will have an influence on a lot of different aspects of what you can pull. I can pull a lot of information on this because I directly set it aside on my own desktop without wiping any information. But if I downloaded a file, depending on how I went about downloading that file, I could inadvertently accidentally wipe the data myself. So be careful. Try and be safe. This is a solid way to make sure you're tracking if you have a known leak. And that's basically it. Thank you for your time.